Y'all know what it is? What we do about this time?
Suck shit.
You know, I was thinking.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, not good.
2020 stat. The rate of recidivism for prisoners nationally is over 70%. In our state, California, 67%. Basically, 2 out of every 3 men that are incarcerated will go back to jail within 5 years of their release. Okay? The reason why, one of the reasons why, is the system is set up that way. There's all kinds of things in place to slip people up along the way. So there's a lot of advocates for prison reform, okay? But the system is set up for you to fail, right? That's how a lot of us are in relationships. Right? So you walk through the streets and you can't recognize who the inmates are. See, when somebody's in prison, they got the orange jumpsuit on, the blue one with the flip-flops, and they say, you know, property of the county of Los Angeles, right? So I propose that some of these hoes need to wear like pink jumpsuits that say on the back property of the city. That way, you know she's for the streets.
She belongs to the street.
See, you get told stuff like, you can have a whole phase. Well, let's say that your whole phase lasted from 20 to 40. Do you realize that that's no longer a phase? Malcolm Gladwell had the 10,000 hour rule. You do anything for 10,000 hours, you become an expert. Right? If you at Subway for 20 years, you a hell of a sandwich artist. If you was at Arby's, maybe you like a roast beefian, I don't know what, you know. But you know that you ain't going to Wall Street. Like, the best you're gonna be is the manager, okay? So after 20 years of hoeing, the best you could be is the top hoe. The manager. That's why I say, wear your pink jumpsuit so we can know, so we can help the other citizens. And if you ain't with that, then you're really not with prison reform. And if you're not with prison reform, you on some sucker shit.
You
Connect
suck.
that.
Hey, that's gonna get us in trouble. I'm all for it. I'm all for defending that way. You know me. I'm all for offending every fucking one. I offend people.
How did he connect?
Hey, that shit is brilliant. I love it. I guess why I drop nigga in the family group chat all the time. You know what I mean? Just because I said I have a right to use
drop
it.
bombs.
You know what I'm saying? I have a
Drop
right
bombs.
to use it.
A proud roast beefian.
Oh my goodness. All right.
20 years is not a phase. I would concur.
I'm just saying.
Oh my.
Because we know those. We know a bunch of
I
them.
heard a woman that's 2 years younger than me talk about a whole phase. I was like, you're 45. That's where it came from. A conversation I had. She was like,
Oh no! I
like,
had the
you're
same
45.
conversation. I had the same conversation.
Right?
The chick had a post-divorce whole phase. I was like, didn't you tell me something about from you when you was 21
That's what I'm
to
saying.
26 that you wilded out? Like
Totally.
5 years is a long time to be like savagely throwing the box around. You know?
I told her.
You know what I mean?
I said, this ain't no whole phase. You was an old hoe.
Oh my goodness. All right. This shit, gentlemen.
There's biological things that are specific to men and women, and their health risks and their different things.
Right.
You know, very few men get breast cancer, right? That's not a big concern for us. That's more of a concern for women. Prostate cancer is ours, right? It doesn't matter what you identify as, but your biology is going to. Now, you can live your life, but I'm not gonna go all the way with you to a place that's past biology, because there's real world consequences to this.
Because in your desire to not feel erasure, you're creating erasure
Right.
of what you're trying to be. And that is a fact. So you have, and let's use the swimmer again example. When you can obliterate the accomplishments of someone like, say, Janet Evans, who had a historical run as a swimmer, and you can just obliterate that, just Janet Evans doesn't exist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Jesse Owens doesn't exist. Picture that with a Kodak. How does that happen?
And I want everybody to have equality and live the fullness of their lives. But I've been struggling with this, and I don't even have it fully fleshed out yet. I've really been thinking about this. Equality doesn't mean full access to everything, right? I would love it to be, but I looked at it in my own personal life. I feel like I got a pretty damn good life, right? And I've gone to a lot of places that, you know, my grandmother, grandfather, God rest their souls, and my grandmother, one is still alive, they probably wouldn't imagine that I would live this life. But I still haven't had full access to every room.
Right.
And I still have a great life. So you can have a great life, you just can't have access to these one or two things. Right? And then some would argue, well, that's not full equality. And then I would say, then equality is a pipe dream, because we never gonna get there.
Cool. Thank you, gentlemen, for diving in that with me. You know, and I like where you went with it. I mean, because it's a nuanced conversation that has to be had, and people are just looking at it as black and white, and it's not what we're saying. It's not what it is. You know, and I think, you know, in some ways, society wants us to have black and white conversations and not play in the nuances or the complexities and idiosyncrasies of these conversations, because that's what a real humanity is, right? That's where the real understanding and empathy and patience comes in those nuanced conversations. So
I'll offer you this. Once everybody in the world realizes that they all mixed, we won't have so many black and white conversations.
There it is. There it is. Hey, quick question, man. What are you guys reading right now?
Went back to why are all the black children sitting in the lunchroom?
Okay. Yeah, I got to get to that.
Yeah, I'm on a revisit kind of deal, and just the examination of what causes that, and then also how that going above beyond the simple black and white aspects of that, and how people play preferred minority in spaces and exact the same things as the original oppressor upon the lesser group, in that space. And I think I think that is going to be a bigger and greater dynamic as the demographics in LA and things like that change. Our numbers, black people, haven't gone down. We're actually just migrating to different spaces, and so we have to manage as our numbers dissipate in specific spaces. Manage how we are perceived in these spaces and the services that we are entitled to in these spaces, and try to maintain that. And whereas, in the past we were always trying to create a space of equality for everyone, and we're not being afforded the same right and the same grace.
No.
So
I'll tell you what I completed, a couple, and what I'm on now. I just reread, actually it was an audio book, so re-listened to We Were Her Property, which is a book about white women and slave owners.
Oh yeah, that's what I mentioned.
I just finished reading Woke Racism by John McWhorter. And I am currently reading a book by Dr. Warren Farrell called Why Men Earn More. That's about the wage gap. And it's, you know, and I'm gonna mess up the title of the book because I'm reading 2 books at the same time. And I'm gonna mess up the title of the book, but it's a book about the world's, it's either 15 or 16 saviors before Jesus.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to get that from you when you finished that.
I'm rereading it again.
Yeah.
Because I was having a religious conversation, a Christianity conversation with my son and my daughter. 2 different things, 2 different stages. So I'm rereading that to get that back refreshed in my head. As you can see, I can't remember the damn title right now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I have this.
It's all right.
You know, but that's all of those things, you know, that's, you know me. That's how the sickness happens.
Well, you know, I do a bunch at the same
I read all this
time.
stuff and then it comes out.
So I'm doing there's a black version of Think and Grow Rich that this brother came out with. So, you know, in Think and Grow Rich, they, you know, use these heavy white dudes at the time as, you know, the basis of, you know, coming up with this philosophy. This brother redid it and used black folk as examples. So it's kind of cool. It's still the same book, switched the examples, so the lessons are still there. So it's kind of cool to get that perspective. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. I'm on the audio book. I have to rewind that shit a lot because it get dense at some points.
The language.
It's dense.
Yeah.
Shrouded Lighthouse, of course, on relationship tip, and I dig Zoe Williams for that. But the shit that has been stirring my soul has been The Warmth of Other Suns. And it's a collection of stories of the great migration of black folk from the South to the rest of the country.
That's right up your alley.
And well, it's also up my alley because I'm having conversations with clients and with folk, Latinos who don't understand the black experience in the United States. And so they have this perception of black folks being the lazy, and they fall into the stereotypes, and not
We fall for
knowing
the stereotypes.
how much.
Ask Bill Cosby.
We do absolutely, and not knowing. It's important that I'm having this conversation with them because I'm in spaces to where people are saying black and brown a lot, right? And
Our experiences.
connecting our
Yeah.
experiences, and it's like,
Nah.
A, you don't understand our experience, and B, our experience is way more nuanced and like yours than you know. Right? If you're an immigrant coming to the United States and have nothing in your pocket and know no one, imagine my great grandfather leaving Marion, Alabama to go to Detroit with nothing in his pocket and knowing no one, right? So that book is hitting me real hard right now as I
Under the pangs of
figure
Jim
out,
Crow.
as I figure out my relationship in the social justice movement, and especially around the community violence intervention pieces, across the nation, to where the black and brown folks are figuring out their relationships, and I have to, and I'm educating.
Tell them they're still
our
living
Latino
under
friends.
the vestiges of Jim Crow.
Bingo.
They're living under the vestiges of Jim Crow and how it's exacted upon them, and they can't even define what Jim Crow is or know what the Jim Crow experience is.
At all.
So you have no understanding of what's coming at you.
Right.
And to say it's vestigial, it's not. It's dissipated. It's not necessarily fully vestigial. It's just evolved.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put vestigial on the thing.
I was thinking about vestiges. Vestiges got me. I was like, I was like, that's 4 dudes in 3-piece suits.
That is.
The vestiges.
It's we're hoping that vestigial in the sense that it goes away permanently, but it doesn't go away.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You know what I mean? So I have to reevaluate using vestigial because it's only slightly vestigial. In its hard form, it's just evolved. You know what I mean? It's evolved.
So check out that Warmth of Other Suns, man.
love this
Is that book? It's like War and Peace looking, but it's easy reads because it's just regular folk telling their stories, and it's great Black stories in there, man. So
we gonna do something that we don't do. We're gonna do something that we don't do. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, please.
Thank you for watching Skinny Black's Lounge with these two good-looking 50-year-old niggas. You know that I ain't gonna look this good when I'm 50, but I'm glad they let me at the table. Right?
That means more than you can imagine.
And if
Yes,
I
sir.
offended
Yes,
you
sir.
by asking the question if your mama was a hoe, then she probably was.
Yeah, your mom's giving
Hey, listen, man.
shitty fucking advice.
We've already discussed it. My grandmother had 5 kids by 4 dudes.
Hey,
So
man.
listen. I love my grandma, but you know,
Hey, man,
it is what it is.
I got a bunch of uncles who ain't been in a monogamous relationship their entire life, so they can tell me things about how to fuck some shit up, and I can learn from them based on that. But I'm not taking any relationship advice as opposed to when it comes to sustaining it.
Just saying.
It is what it is.
Your mom's whole life was powered by Hennessy, cool cigarettes, and good wood.
There it is. There it is. So behind the boards,
Menthol.
you said Jay West. We got Jay West. We got Dio.
Yeah.
Jay West with the Brooklyn shirt on, looking like Jay Rooter Damaging. You know what
He
I'm saying?
doesn't like Jay
Yeah,
Rooter
why?
Damage.
Come
He
clean.
looks just like-
Jump up and get bucked.
That's
If
who
you're
it
feeling
is.
lucky, duck,
Jay
then
Rooter
press your luck.
Damage.
Check your
All right. Hey,
them
like,
gangsta
share,
glam,
subscribe. Listen, make comments in the comment section. We do read them. We do bounce off of them. Let us know. Share. Have these conversations with other folks. Let us know what you think. All
Your
right.
9 spray.
Skinny
Man,
Black
My
Lounge.
mind spray.
We out.